Hey guys, Anna here. We are back for episode 3 of Chernobyl. Last episode, the world is now aware of what is happening as their attempts to keep the information and this tragedy suppressed fail miserably, as that every time they underestimate the situation, they are just showing how incompetently they're handling everything. As all these scientists are coming in, giving their readings, giving their information, and by and large, it's mostly getting ignored until it's becoming so apparent that they just can't ignore it anymore. Also, last episode, we were introduced to a new player in this whole situation, a nuclear physicist who, I forget her name, but she came in detecting the radiation all the way at her facility and immediately realizing how dangerous this is, seeks out whoever's in charge to try to be like, hey, what you're doing, I get why you're doing it, but you're going to make it worse, as their initial plan to finally stave off the fire within the reactor itself is to dump sand and boron on it. That is a temporary solution because it will put the fire out for a moment, but it's going to create some lava. And one thing they didn't think or add into their calculations is the fact that the containers down there are filled with water because of everything that was going on around this. They were under the impression that they were empty. Now, that lava will cause a massive explosion once they hit these containers, and things will just be right back, pretty much right back where they were, if not worse. Bringing this information to them, they're able to kind of work out a plan where they would need to have 3 workers from the facility sacrifice themselves to go in and drain these containers. And it was just such a chilling scene, seeing just how devastating this event is and how much worse it could have been had the right people not stepped in to kind of circumvent all of these shortcomings and this mismanagement of this entire situation. Just how much worse this could have been. It was just chilling. It was moving. It was emotional. And I thought I recognized her from somewhere, and I did look up her IMDb, and I figured out where it was. She's the lead actress in Red Dragon, the Hannibal Lecter movie with Ralph Fiennes, Ed Norton, and Anthony Hopkins, all them. That's where I knew her from. It was bugging me so much, man. But guys, all that down the way, we're going to go ahead and hop into this episode. So if you want to see the full-length reaction, you check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, it gets you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up with the time codes for reaction to the entire episode. You also get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover here on the channel. You get to suggest and vote on what movies we react to each month. We got monthly Q&As, behind-the-scenes footage, and trying to make it worth your while since you are going to way support the channel. And guys, if you enjoy the reaction, please leave a like and drop a comment. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. We got plenty of stuff coming your way. I really appreciate it. With that all said and out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and hop into episode 3, Open Wide, O Earth. Here we go. Here, running water. I assume we're about to pick up with the crew that just got left in the dark. At least they finally have some light. Man, I was worried they were going to have to try to find their way through here with no light at all. I don't even know how they would have feasibly done that.
Is it possible that the water has already killed them?
Yes.
It doesn't work.
So I know they said the radiation down there, if they went down and succeeded, they'd probably only have maybe a week or so to live after the fact. But there's a chance just being down there could just kill them before they even succeed. Did they know that going in? I mean, obviously they knew that going in, but maybe I misunderstood what they were talking about in the last episode, but that just makes this that more horrifying. Oh. Did we see them do it? I guess, yeah, I guess we did. Four days after the explosion.
I'm sorry, no visitors.
Wow. Like, I get it, but like...
I have permission. I've...
She's just trying to pay off everybody. Like, I get it, but like...
Thank you.
You're not pregnant, are you?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, she did wake up that one morning vomiting.
Look at the cat dragged in.
What did I tell you?
There's no hiding from you, is there? Eh?
No!
Yeah.
I get it. I do. The music.
Cesium-137 in the Gomel district. That's 200 kilometers away.
It was decided.
Based on what?
I don't know.
Forgive me.
What happened?
Is this really the way it all works? An uninformed, arbitrary decision that will cost who knows how many lives made by some apparatchik career party man?
I'm a career party man. You should watch your tone, Comrade Legazo.
Comrades, we have visual confirmation that the fire is nearly extinguished. There's also been a reduction.
I don't understand what...
From the cladding on the fuel rods.
Meaning what?
The meltdown has begun.
So is he like upset about that they're only evacuating people like within close proximity? They need to be evacuating people farther out than that?
You can't be in here.
Oh my God.
50% chance that the fuel will breach the pad and melt down into the groundwater itself.
Where does this groundwater go?
Pripyat River, the primary water supply for approximately 50 million people. We're recommending we install a heat exchanger under the pad to lower the core temperature and halt the meltdown. I'm told that we will need all of the liquid nitrogen in the Soviet Union.
What?
Whatever you need, you have it. That should be clear
Yes.
by now. Anything else?
No.
Oh my
Yes, I'd like to
God.
address the 30-kilometer exclusion zone.
Wait, who?
Ooh, yeah, okay.
I don't want questions. I want to know when this will be over.
If you mean when will Chernobyl be completely safe, the half-life of plutonium-239 is 24,000 years, so perhaps we should just say not within our lifetime.
Oh my God. These dude.
The arteries and veins spill open like sieves to the point where you can't even administer morphine for the pain. Within 3 days to 3 weeks, you're dead.
Jesus.
I've seen them before.
Now you know why I wanted to take a walk. I can presume the work site is bugged. And our rooms,
Oh.
bathrooms,
Been here the
Oh.
whole time.
of course they've been in the...
Wow.
If we're seeing them out in the open now, that's because they want us to know.
They're being spied on. Oh my God. Why at this point?
I need all 100 men to gather their equipment and get on the trucks.
To where?
That's classified.
Come on, then. Start shooting. You haven't got enough bullets for all of us.
Reactor fuel is going to sink into the ground and poison the water from Kiev to the Black Sea. Forever, they say.
Everybody get your pats in. Dirty up that suit. Oh my God. Again, like I said, the makeup team. Don't touch him! Jesus. Man, I know I probably sound kind of harsh. I can't imagine being in that situation, but I know that the empathy would be set off so high. The need, the want, the desire to comfort your loved one while they're suffering like that. Like, I get it. I do.
Have you ever spent time with miners? No. My advice, tell the truth. These men work in the dark. They see everything.
Andrei Glukov, crew chief.
It's just like being, disregarding all of the precautions and all of that. It's just like so... It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your loved one either. It's just... And you can carry this out of there with you, too, if you get too much exposure.
Excavated space 30 by 30 meters for the heat exchanger. Because we need to keep disruption of the ground above to a minimum, can't use any heavy machines to be done by hand.
Oh my God.
At that depth, you'll be shielded from much of the radiation.
Entrance to the tunnel won't be 12 meters below ground. And we're not 12 meters below ground now.
Quick-witted, this one.
You start now. I don't want my men here one more second than they need to be. If these worked, you'd be wearing them.
God, this guy's on point. Nine days.
Not this dust. I'm sorry. For your own good. No fans.
I mean, aren't they... I mean, is that any worse than just breathing the air? Oh my Lord.
My name is Olano Homyok. I'm a nuclear physicist with the Chernobyl Commission.
Homyok.
Yes, I'm here. Have you been here this whole time? No one said I should leave.
They said 30 minutes.
He's something else now, do you understand? He's dangerous to you. He's burned. Go home. Please.
Can they at least explain, like, she clearly doesn't understand radiation, the effects, how...
I don't want him to die alone. Stay on the other side of the plastic. Or I'll have you removed by security.
Please, don't go in.
Yes, my love.
Oh my God.
Think I dream. She's gone.
Vasya.
Just how fast it progresses, man. When she showed up, he was just red in the face.
We're gonna have a baby.
No, you're not. That's so f***ed up, man. And they asked if she was pregnant before even considering to let her in there. I guarantee it, if she had said yes, they wouldn't have even given her that 30 minutes. So messed up, man.
But it's the beginning of the end.
Sorry to bother you, Deputy Minister, but it's the miners.
Oh, because they can't have a fan, they have to strip down just to stay somewhat cool.
You wouldn't give us fans. It's too hot for clothes. So we're digging the old way. This is where our fathers mined. We're still wearing the hats. When this is over, will they be looked after?
I don't know.
He said, to be honest.
You don't know.
Man, they're dooming so many people to spare so many more.
Get up. Get out. Get out of here. You let her in that room, inside the plastic, touching him. Did you know she's pregnant?
It's not true.
People are going to hear. Do you understand? Everyone is going to hear.
What is everyone gonna hear?
Oh, no.
I'm with the official Chernobyl Commission. I've been authorized by Valery Legasov. You can check this. My name is
We know
Ulana
who you
Holm.
are. What is everyone gonna hear?
This is so f***ed up, man. That is too much white.
I'm working on it.
Boris.
I'm working on it. What do you want from me? Fix your tie.
I'll see you now.
People are getting punished just for caring.
All animals still surviving within the zone, whether domesticated or wild, must be presumed contaminated and will have to be destroyed. We will have to raise entire forests. We will have to rip up the top layer of earth and bury it under itself, approximately 100 square kilometers.
Oh my god.
How many deaths?
Thousands, perhaps tens of thousands.
That was a short-lived little celebration there.
Larry.
He's...
Her name?
I know who she is. Good day, Professor.
Oh. That went surprisingly well. You came off like a naive idiot. And naive idiots are not a threat.
You're compelled. Problem has been assigned and you'll stop at nothing until you find an answer. That is who you are.
A lunatic, then.
A scientist.
I like these two.
No matter how unlikely, no matter what or who is to blame.
I'll go back to the hospital and re-interview Akimov and Totonov, if they're still awake.
If they're still alive. At least they're finally evacuating these larger areas. Oh no. Or is this the recruitment for the people they need? Hey! Also, that was Ralph Ineson, one of the guys at the commission table, but Barry Keoghan, man. Keegan, Keoghan, whatever. His lead caskets. Oh, wow. They have to... I mean... That makes sense. That was a very somber episode, man. Open wide, oh earth. Couple meanings you can have that. Open wide as they open it up to bury the dead. Open up as the miners dig their hole into the earth underneath. Open up as the core melts, potentially piercing into the earth itself, into the groundwater. It's just an interesting title. When I popped it up, I was like, oh, I'm just kind of thinking, like, what all meanings could that have in this? And they pretty much know that these miners, all of them, all 400 odd of them, are dead or will have their lives dramatically shortened by taking this on. But again, if you don't, it's the devastation would be exponentially worse. I wholly understand where Jared Harris's character is kind of, I say character, the guy he's playing is coming from in this, especially. I don't know that I could bear the weight of all of this. Knowing that there's not really any other choice, but it's still, you gave the order regardless. Like, these are his plans. You know, he's doing the best he can with the information they have. I mean, the event happened. They're just trying to figure out and understand how, why, and preventing it from getting any worse. So, like, you know, yeah, he didn't make it happen or anything like that. He's not the cause or the reason this thing blew up, but he gave the order for so many lives to be sacrificed for the greater good. That doesn't make it better. That doesn't make it hurt less, knowing that you're sending people to their grave. So the exclusion zone, the 30, that was his sticking point. He was like saying, like, going back to that, because I was a little confused in the moment, but I kind of got it as we moved along. At least I think I did. So there was a 30 kilometer exclusion zone, which he was saying it should be 200 kilometers. We need to be evacuating all of these towns or whatever early on. It was like, why are we only... They're trying to make it look less devastating than it is. They're trying to manage the perception of this event to try to, you know, not appear as weak or as incompetent as they might be perceived right now. So they're doing the exact minimum necessary at every given moment to make this, to keep up this perception of strength and confidence. And then, but after they push through, after he gives his report, he's like, this is what we have to do. You know, it went from this moment of celebration when Stellan took the field. And this is one thing I appreciate a lot about Jared Harris in this role, is that his character is just telling it how it is. You know, he knows the situation. He knows the government. He knows that speaking out of turn can have ill consequences. And maybe it is a level of naiveness that comes with that. But like at every turn, every time as well, that Stellan's like, let me talk. Don't mention this. Don't mention that. At every turn, he still mentions this and that because it is weighing on him. Because he's human, man. He understands the gravity of the situation and the cost right now. And you see it in every moment, in every expression, in every spoken word is Jared gives this phenomenal performance, man. And he pushes, finally dropping it. It's like, hey, we're going to lose thousands, tens of thousands of people to do this. It's going to take us 3 years. We needed to kill any of the wildlife if we find them roaming around to just make sure that they don't spread it. We got to turn up the ground. He dropped in the middle of all that. And as a requirement, we need to evacuate everybody. Send people to all the towns, all the villages, get them out of there. And having them in the moment there with everything that was going on, they reluctantly agreed. But now they need the bodies to exact his plan and it's going to take hundreds of thousands of people to make this happen, and a large chunk of them will die. Like, even though you're sparing, again, I'm coming back to this because I couldn't fathom having to make this call, but I know like the death toll would be so much greater, but again, being the one to sign off on the deaths of so many like that for the greater good or not, it's just, that's horrifying. And then Humyuk, Alana, as she's investigating this event on his behalf at this hospital, trying to understand how the reactor exploded to begin with, interviewing the survivors while they're alive, trying to at least, to understand what happened that led up to it, and then just seeing her realize that, like, you know, a lot of these people were barely adults. Like the senior engineer there was 25. Like seeing the loss of life, seeing the suffering they've gone through, and then again trying to understand, and you can see it just tearing her down. And much like with Jared Harris, like at this point, like that you're seeing so much pain, and you're steeped in all of this agony, and you just want to stop. You just want to go away. You just want to turn away and not face it or deal with it anymore, or make these hard decisions. And again, they're only betting now on this whole meltdown thing on a hunch, on a hope, on a chance, because there's still a percentage that, yeah, it, even despite their efforts, it could still punch through. But they really don't have any other ideas or options, man. I can't fathom have been any of the people involved in this. And then just again, coming back to the wife, the doctor, like, if you were going to let her in there for 30 minutes, I get you got to tend to other patients or something like that, and you can't babysit her the entire time. She shouldn't have just given her those 30 minutes at all. Like, that was irresponsible, but I can't. She was hoping, she was like, listen, these are what you have to do. Don't touch them. It's not safe. Like, she gave so many upfront warnings. But though I think it would have helped if she explained what was going on, because I don't know, because of the suppression of information, I don't know that the wife knows he's irradiated. I don't think she understands why it is dangerous to touch him. I don't think that has been communicated at all. Maybe it has. I don't know. Because she thought when she saw him, she's like, those are just burns. Like, again, I don't think she understands exactly what this means, that she's now contaminated herself. And she also lied about being pregnant. There's a reason she asked you that question. So, like, I can't fully blame the hospital staff, but, like, and I get wanting to see your husband, your loved one, the worry, the gut need and desire to be there for them in this tragic moment, knowing they're injured, they're in pain, wanting to be there with them and by their side. I know that makes it hard to approach this logically. And I don't know that I can say that I would be any different in this situation. It sucks, man. Because now, again, because of all of that, and I think Alana had the correct response and reaction to that whole situation when she caught her on the inside of the tarp with him, touching him, placing his hand on her stomach when she tells him, we're having a baby. Well, probably not now. At least it won't come out healthy. I would have to imagine. I don't think she'll carry it to term at all. The quickness that it escalated as far as his condition is just terrifying. And Jared Harris gave a a breakdown of that. You know, there'll be a moment, there'll be like a day or two where they might even seem healthy. They may even be back to normal. And then after that, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then everything will just start to melt, corrode, and go away. Burn. Like their skin will turn black, they'll burn. What did he say? It was like the first couple hours or whatever, the day after exposure, like, you know, they'll have their burns, blisters, the skin will blacken. Then after a certain amount of time, he said they'll seem normal. And then after a day or 2 or 3 days, something like that, then their blood vessels will start to burst and rupture. Their skin will start to die and decay. Their flesh, their cells will just start to erode. It's just like, oh my God. Because like when she showed up, he just, you know, they're just shooting smoke and playing cards. You know, he had burns on his face, like blisters, a little more intense than when we saw him last at the facility. But then throughout however much time she was there, I don't know how much time actually passed while she was left unattended. Did they leave her unattended past that 30 minutes for a couple of days? Because, like, he escalated to so much. And then the other people that Elena visited and interviewed, she said one of the guys didn't even have a face. That's just horrifying, man. And then on top of that is the fact that they're all being followed because, again, not that you're not trusted, but trust but verify. You know, and then she was like, again, because of what was happening with the mismanagement and handling of that situation with a pregnant woman and this house full of, this hospital full of irradiated patients just running around freely, hanging out and touching these contaminated souls. Just like, rightfully, she got emotional and riled up about it. They're talking about, oh, they'll know about this bullshit, about this mismanagement. People are going to find out what happened here. You know, but then, of course, the KGB guys tailing her was like, find out what? Spread what? People going to find out who? Again, trying to suppress and control the narrative and make sure nothing that they don't approve gets out and all that. Truth or not. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Again, kudos to the makeup team on this. Like the effects crew. Because the amount of work and the prosthetics and the makeup that goes into the effect of making these people look like these burn victims is just really well done. This is such a depressing show, man. But it's really good so far. It's so good. And it's harder to wrap my head around it because, again, I mentioned this before, is like these are events that happened. These are people that died. This isn't a fictional tragedy. This isn't like a disaster movie. This isn't Volcano. It's not Dante's Peak. It's not anything like that. This is a thing that people lived through and didn't. Anyway, guys, I think that's all I got for the moment. Make sure to stick around, subscribe if you're not already. If you enjoy the reaction, make sure to leave a little like, drop a comment, and we can carry on the conversation after the video. Remember, if you want to see the full-length reaction, check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, gets you access as well. And speaking of, before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Manny Sherritt, Ryan, Karen, Philly Vane, Yori, Corey Scott, Margaret Grace, Melito, Robert Aguayano, Raven McCann, Jeffrey Hale, M. Sephiroth, Jake Cantrell, and Amy Beckett. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. But that's it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in episode 4. Take care, everybody.